What's up, guys? So today we're going to be talking about anxiety and suffering. Obviously, there is suffering with anxiety itself. I'll cover that, my experience. But also, guys, there is suffering in anxiety recovery. I'm going to also speak on that because I think that's where a lot of people lack understanding, acceptance. I think that's where a lot of people get discouraged, okay? And I want you to learn from my mistakes. That's why my anxiety journey was 5 years. I was not willing to accept that there was going to be a struggle or a period of suffering when I was trying to recover. But you know what time it is. Smash the like button down below if you're ready to kick anxiety in the butt today. So I had health anxiety, I had crippling symptoms, I had multiple panic attacks today. So it's fair to say that I suffered a lot during my 5-year anxiety journey period. You know, in the beginning, it was terrifying, having the chest pains, thinking that I was dying from a heart attack multiple times a day, the impending doom with my panic attacks, feeling hopeless, feeling alone, going to the doctors, getting told that I was healthy and that they couldn't find anything on my tests, sometimes laughing at me, and that leading to me thinking that I'm just imagining these symptoms, which I wasn't, they were real, or thinking that I was losing my mind or going crazy. For me, going through all the different disease scares of health anxiety, thinking I had a heart disease, then thinking that I had every type of digestive cancer known to man, thinking that I was dying from throat cancer in my early 20s, you know, thinking that I had early onset dementia because of my brain fog, thinking that I had brain tumors, brain cancer ran in my family, and my headaches made me feel like I was going to develop it a lot earlier than some of my grandparents did. Then thinking that I had lymphoma and I was dying from that for 1.5 years. Me always Googling, looking up the prognosis for a disease that I didn't have, looking up the treatment for a disease that I didn't have, wondering how I was going to break it to my wife that I was dying, wondering how I was going to tell my children that I wasn't going to be there whenever they were growing up, not be there for holidays, thinking that I was going to die in my early 20s. There was a lot of darkness. There was tons of suffering. The insomnia, the symptoms all throughout the day, the numbness, the tingling, the stomach pain, having to pee multiple times within just an hour's period of time, having diarrhea. Whenever I didn't have diarrhea, I had constipation. Sure, TMI. The muscle twitching, the muscle pain, the confusion, the negative thoughts, the intrusive thoughts. My anxiety was so bad that I couldn't drive. I couldn't hold down a job because of the fact that I couldn't drive. Lost an amazing job, then I lost a bunch of other smaller jobs after that. Not being able to be a passenger in a vehicle as well. It almost seemed like my anxiety was even worse then as a passenger. Not being able to fly anymore, not being able to get on a roller coaster again, something that I loved. Not being able to stand in a long line at a grocery store. Not being able to sit in a crowd or being in a social setting. Struggling with friendships. I lost a 4-year relationship that I had due to this. Dealing with people being rude to me, not understanding, telling me to just get over it, telling me to stop being weak. It was a struggle, and I suffered a lot. Now, a lot of you can relate with a lot of what I just said, but something that people don't like to hear is that there's suffering when it comes to recovery and doing the right things for your anxiety. See, a lot of us, we get into this comfort bubble, right? Our safe zone. But the funny thing about it is we're still miserable in this bubble. We're just so nervous to get outside of that bubble and possibly aggravate our symptoms a little bit or aggravate our panic a little bit more than it already is to start the recovery process, or to prove that our subconscious that it's not a problem, or to expose ourselves to our fears or our triggers. And guys, I challenge you to do that. But a lot of you expect to stay in that bubble, to stay in that comfort zone where you're already suffering, and to work on maybe a routine or maybe a little strategy, or maybe it's a little bit of mindfulness, or you're taking this probiotic. I think those things are great. You need the routine, you need the structure, you need tools, right? Tips, strategies, all that good stuff. But you got to go out there and expose and start facing your fears. Recovery is about embracing being uncomfortable. It's been a theme over the past few videos I've been creating. It's because I want to really drill it home. Some of you are staying at home hoping that your anxiety will go away finally so you can get outside of your home. And I'm going to tell you, for 99.9% of you, that's not going to be the case. It will not go away or back down so you can then go out there and prove to your subconscious that you can handle it. If that was how it worked, then pretty much nobody would deal with anxiety disorder, at least after a while. It'd be one of the easiest things to conquer. But I'm here to tell you it was one of the hardest things I had to conquer in my entire life, if not the hardest. It was definitely the longest struggle I ever had, 5 years. My recovery period lasted a year. There was struggle through that whole thing. There was me being uncomfortable throughout that whole thing. There was me suffering throughout the whole thing. Sure, it got easier as time went on. The suffering became less. But I'm here to tell you, when you try to change your life and you try to expose and you try to face your fears, your subconscious is going to buck up to you. I'm telling you, your subconscious doesn't care that you changed your diet. Your subconscious doesn't really care that you started exercise the minute you get back in that car that you haven't been in for the past 6 months. Or the minute you go to orientation for a new job that you haven't worked in over a year. Or the first time you step out of your house in months. Or the first time you get out of bed in months. Those symptoms are still going to come. Expect them to, but understand it's part of the process. And understand that it's now your job from a conscious perspective to let your subconscious know that you're here for your subconscious, that these symptoms don't bother me. I understand you're crying out for help, but there's nothing dangerous around me. I got to get out of the house. I got to go to work. I got to drive. I got to start living the life that I deserve. And I'm sorry that I haven't been doing anything for months or even years. That's on me. That's on me consciously. But I'm here to redirect us into the life that we deserve, into doing things that we need to be doing, and you will trust me again. You got to understand in the beginning, your subconscious doesn't trust you when all of a sudden you want to change, when all of a sudden you want to accept, when all of a sudden you want to expose. It's still scared, no matter what routine you put in place. That routine can help bring your anxiety down a little bit so you can handle it better, but that's all I would expect from that. You still have to face your fear. You still have to get out there and do it, okay? There is suffering with that. If you're already suffering and you're suffering in your safe zone, what's a little bit more suffering to get to recovery? I'd rather aggravate my subconscious and maybe my symptoms go up a little bit dealing with exposure and me recover in a few months to maybe a year at the most than to stay in my miserable safe bubble for 20 years before I do something. And I'm saying to you what I needed to hear. I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm talking at you. I just care about you so damn much. And I want you to get out of this. I don't want you to struggle as long as I did. I'm telling you, if I heard these things from somebody back then, if I had somebody that explained anxiety the way that I do now, it wouldn't have taken me that long at all. So I want you to take action today. I want you to get out there and start doing the things that make you feel uncomfortable. That should be your theme. Embracing being uncomfortable. So if you watch this video all the way to this point, go down below and in all caps in the comment section, I want you to put, there is suffering in recovery. I know I've wanted you guys to say that affirmation before in a video. Let's say it again today. It's a good one. There is suffering in recovery. But if you're ready to start being uncomfortable, if you're ready to face those fears, if you're ready to expose, if you're ready to endure the suffering that's involved with recovery because you know it's necessary to recover, get my course, Elite Anxiety Bootcamp. Put it down below in the description in the first pinned comment. It's helping so many freaking people with that process. It's all the things that I needed to hear whenever I was going through my anxiety. It's my blueprint on how I recovered from health anxiety, panic attacks, crippling symptoms that I dealt with for years. It takes a mindset change. It takes strategy. It takes consistency. It takes patience. It takes exposure. It's a total transformation. Anxiety is a sign that you need to grow. That's going to help you out. So grab that. There's a link for online therapy down there. My one-on-one coaching info is down there. If you want to give that a shot, Facebook groups are down there, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All right. Remember, if you're new here, subscribe. And if you like this video, if you got some value, then do me a huge favor and hit like. And until next time, guys, keep fighting. I love you all.